Howdy everybody, it's your boy, the scout main that no one listens to because he's an annoying little piece of crap that no one ever wants to listen to because he's bad at the game. Back at it with another tier list because the scout tier list is one of my most viewed videos, so I figured, do one for my second most played class, which is Pyro. Yes, I realize Jungle Inferno is a very controversial update with how Pyro is quote-unquote busted in pubs. Pyro is fine, okay? Yes, I get it. WM1 is not fun to play against, but, like, it's how a flamethrower actually works. Like, World War I and whatnot, flush people, it's a monster in mid-range, in close-range combat. So, I figured be a great idea just to come back to the tier list seed and just make one for Pyro, my second most played class. So, as you know from the last time, D is the worst tier, and S is the best tier. So, I think I'm going to start off with what I think is the worst thing to use on Pyro in general. Like, even if this took up the melee slot, it would be horrible. I think you all know what I'm talking about. The Gas Passer is absolutely worthless. You get to set people on fire by firing that, by covering that, by dealing damage with fire-based weapons. Or your melee. But still, like, there's really no reason, because you have a flamethrower. Or flame launcher, I guess, but like, whatever. There's really no point to equipping this thing, and people try to justify it by, oh, you can extinguish team. Your flamethrower does that unless you're using the Flog. In which case, if you're using the Flog, I'd recommend you use the Man Melter, so you can still get the health back for extinguished teammates. More about that later on in the video. But the Gas Passer is just not good. It would need a rework. I think if it dealt like damage, like it was like a big explosion, that'd be cool. Because like it made it do like a toxic gas thing. That'd be cool. Joining it in D tier is the okay, so I have a story to tell about this. The Sharpened Volcano Fragment. My friend has been yelling at me for like 2 years that he's going to get a collector's professional killstreak Sharpened Volcano Fragment. He has yet to do it. And the reason why he does that is because it's a horrible weapon, no one would ever use it. Aside from shotguns, Pyro's secondaries and primaries all focus around setting people on fire or utility. All the ones that deal damage, anyway. So there's no... Why would you want a melee to deal with this? I guess just the view model. The one reason why I see this thing as viable is view models. Because, let's be honest here, the Back Scratcher is the weapon to use in Medieval. Or maybe the Power Jack even, because the health restored and kill and the faster movement speed actually helps you a bit in that game mode. Funnily enough. And finally, the last bit of D tier, the absolute trash, Hot Hand. Just because a weapon is a meme weapon doesn't mean that it can't be good. Like, it's not horrible utility, but like, when are you gonna use the melee as Pyro as opposed to your flamethrower and mow them down at close range? I guess if you're like there are only certain there are only certain situations where you would want to use your Pyro melee. And it's not worth it just to get like a tiny bit of damage off and a speed boost and an announcement in chat. That thing is funny to see used, especially when someone goes ham with it. But it's not going to be very effective because also it has a damage penalty. Like, why? Why? In C tier, starting off C tier, we have the Thermal Thruster. Now, I know this thing can be considered really bad, but it sacrifices the utility of the shotgun, like the extra like mid-range damage of the shotgun, or the super quick burst damage of any of the flare guns for added mobility, and I don't mind that. It helps out with the back burner. It helps out with anything. Like if you want to play an ambush style of Pyro. The problem is it's not that stealthy in its own. You have to make sure that you can get into an area where the enemies can't see you, but otherwise it's pretty good. It's not like wonderful because I'd rather take a secondary weapon over a utility, but you know, it's not horrible. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the Dragon's Fury is the worst Pyro primary. Say what you will about the Flog. The Dragon's Fury, it has slower air blast. Can't even, like, it's horrible at spy checking. And it's, the concept's cool. It's a combination of a flamethrower and a flare gun. I wish they would like change the hitboxes around a bit, because right now in its current state it's not that great. I think we can all agree that the stock melee on Pyro is just so bad. It's horrible. It's better than these two options though. but it gets out DPS by your flamethrower and basically every situation. And if you're gonna go for raw damage on Pyro, there's like on a melee weapon, there's much better options. It's a jack of all trades kind of deal where it does nothing right, but it's not absolutely abysmal like the Hot Hand or Sharpened Volcano Fragments. That's why stock melee, Stop Fire Axe, or Lollychop, the clearly superior version because I like the taunt. Just falls in C tier because it's not the worst thing you could equip in that slot. I actually had a tough time deciding on whether I want to put the Extinguisher in A or B tier. I'm gonna just put it in B tier, but just say that's like in the middle. It's like B plus, A minus. It's really good. I wouldn't say that it needs a buff or a nerf in any way. I think it's perfect in the state that it's in. It isn't busted like it was at some points. It isn't horrible like it is at some points. It's reached a happy medium, and I'm glad the story has ended well. Plus, it's flashy. It's so cool seeing like Pyro detonator to extinguisher stuff. That's cool. More than detonator, but okay. Say what you will about the Flog. I think it's perfectly fine where it is. Maybe a little bit weaker than any other of the Pyro primaries, except for the Dragon's Fury, which needs to be fixed. I don't know. The Flog is fine. You build up crits with your damage. You can go on a rampage, but Pyro isn't the fastest class in the game, and like soldiers, demos, medics, even spies can like retreat if they see a Pyro flogging, because like you're supposed to stand still. It's an ambush thing, but you want to make sure like just as long as your enemies are self-aware for the Flog, it's not gonna be that useful. But if a medic like Ubers you as you're flogging, it's gonna be a good time. It's not. It's balanced. The Backburner. I find this thing is hated on way too much, and I don't understand why. You can still air blast, and you get crits from behind, so it's like a flank heavy playstyle. I don't really understand why this thing gets the hate that it does. They're WM running because they don't have as many air blasts at their disposal, and they want to be able to get some crits from behind. It's a good weapon in all accounts, and I think it's balanced. And also, this thing used to have no air blast and give you plus 50 max health. The Detonator is the thermal thruster, but you want to still have a secondary. But you don't really, like, I don't know. The Detonator is Thermal Thruster 0.5 and Flare Gun 0.5. Because it's a mix of the two, and I think it strikes a happy medium between the two. Where it's not focused solely on mobility, it can still deal some damage, but it's not going to deal as much damage as the Flare Gun. It's really nice with the detonation mechanic. It's so satisfying to land one. And like multiple in a row, chain them together. It's not the best option for a combo Pyro, but as a mobility and like maybe long range damage source, it's not horrible. Okay, to be honest here, I'm rating this mainly, like I'm rating the Neon Annihilator in B tier mainly for the fact that it doesn't deal critical hits on gassed players. That would buff the Gas Passer up to C tier if they were just considered wet. And maybe this would even be S tier, or like at least A tier, because of just how good of a combo. That's Jarate Bushwalker. That's literally what it is. I just realized that. If that were a thing, it's just Jarate Bushwalker on Pyro. God, that's terrifying. But I'm rating it in B tier because it can also remove Sappers, so it's a weaker Homewrecker, but has another upside. Speaking of the Homewrecker, this is another one that could go flip-flop with A here, because I don't know. I guess I can move it up here, because this is where, like, these two, they're B plus, A minus kind of situations where they're not, like, as good as the rest of the stuff in A tier, in my opinion, but they're not down here with the B tier stuff. They're balanced, but they aren't amazingly good. Now, people can change their minds on this. Like, if you have any criticisms, please leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear that. But the Homewrecker, remove Sappers. Good for helping out. Great on defense. It's great for helping out your NGs. Being a Pyro, my favorite subclass. And honestly, just keep doing you, Pyros. That's all I gotta say about the Homewrecker. In my opinion, the Man Melter is criminally underrated. Yeah, I made a video on it. Go watch that. Go watch it. It's good, decent enough video. Not my current editing style that I'm trying to get into, but you know, it's not the best flare gun. It's definitely not the worst. Detonator is, in my opinion, the worst. I think it's underrated because it's a good long-range option as Pyro if you can just like hold down the fort. Definitely a defensive weapon, kind of up there with the Homewrecker. Like, if you're wanting to play defensive Pyro, I'd say Stock, Man Melter, and Home Wrecker is the way to go. Helping out the NGs, getting some extra long-range damage, and being able to reflect and projectiles the maximum amount. I'm putting this in B tier literally because it's a direct upgrade. I don't think it belongs in B tier, but if I put it in the same tier as the Fire Axe, people would yell at me. I wanted to put this in C tier, which is why it's at the end here. The Reserve Shooter is literally a direct downgrade of the shotgun that deals mini crits on blast jumping targets. And on Pyro, you aren't really going to be dealing with a lot of, I don't know. If there's a blast jumping target, usually you're going to be reflecting their rockets back at them, as opposed to, you know, shooting them with a shotgun. I want to put this thing in C tier, but at the same time, it's a shotgun. Shotgun is really effective on Pyro, so I can't blame people for using it. And the faster deploy speed does help a little bit. So I guess it's not a direct downgrade. My favorite Pyro Melee. I like how it benefits. It has almost no downside in pubs. Because, where's a medic in pub? I'm joking. I have a lot of friends that are medic mains. I don't find it that horrible, actually. People give it crap because of how, oh, you're sabotaging your team. If you want to build Uber with a medic, use the Back Scratcher. It's kind of like the Boston Basher on Scout. And you get extra health in your health packs. It's just passive, and you're like, it's good. Really good. I think you all know what the best... oh my god. Next up, we got the Flare Gun. I love this thing. It does not need any changes, Valve. Don't think me putting it in the A tier means that it's slightly stronger than what it should be. It's amazing. It's just the fact that these things are a bit weaker than it. And this is the secondaries anyway. It's an amazing burst damage option for Pyro. And I like the fact that they reward you with some skill for actual proper aiming. I hate this thing. I like how I went from the positivity of me praising the Flare Gun for being my second favorite Pyro secondary to my least favorite Pyro secondary, the Scorch Shot. And no, it's not because of Scorch Shot Flog. I think that's perfectly fine. I think the problem here is that it just has too many upsides. The fact that you can jump with it completely, well, it doesn't undermine the detonator. It doesn't jump as high, but it's not as game-changing as the detonator's jumping. But it's a mix of the Force of Nature, the detonator, the Flare Gun, and it has a taunt kill for some reason. I don't know where I'm going with this. Thing is, I hate this weapon. It rewards not even proper aiming. And I don't know. I don't like it. It's a good weapon, trust me. I think it's really, really good. But I just personally really hate it. It's annoying to fight against as well. Especially since you just, like, catch people on fire. And I think most people will agree that the thing is annoying to fight against. I'm fine with it being in the game, it's just annoying to fight. Once again, I'm not sure whether to put this in S tier or A tier. So actually, I'm just going to put this at the front. The stock shoddy is really just amazing on every class that equips except for heavy. And even then, it's possibly the best shotgun. Who knows? Family Business might be better, but who knows? There's nothing really to say about it. It's a great combo tool that also helps you with some mid-range combat. So I'm just gonna put it at the top of A tier because that's where it belongs. It is amazing. The Degreaser is an amazing tool for combo Pyro, and just Pyro in general. It can actually air blast consistently, not as consistent as stock, but the faster switch speed and just makes up for that completely because it helps you with combo Pyro. I think it makes Pyro a little bit too easy to play with the combo portion of it, but the decreased afterburn damage and increased air blast cost does have some downside. I think this thing does need a nerf though. The stock flamethrower is phenomenal, and I don't see it enough. And no, I'm not just saying this because I have an Australian one. It's an amazing weapon. Air blasts a lot, deals normal damage, and if you pair it with what I think you can tell is, in my opinion, Pyro's best secondary at the moment. I wish it was reverted, but it's overshadowed by the Degreaser in like the community's eyes. But I think it's a good. The Degreaser is a side grade to it. They're equals. Much like the Scattergun and the Soda Popper, there's no one better choice. Even the Force of Nature has its moments in that I didn't like. That could honestly be an S tier. The Force of Nature in the Scout video. Also, public service announcement. Read the description. Defying guillotines in B tier because I was an idiot and didn't realize how useful it is in competitive and how, well, it's banned in competitive obviously, but It's a long-range optical scout. I just realized that, like, after making the video. I didn't want to have to release a whole update video just for it. The video is completely out of nowhere, like, all over the place. God. Pyro's best melee. The speed boost is a phenomenal option for its minimal downside of having plus 20% damage taken while it's active. If it was passive, this thing would be the worst thing in the game, like the damage vulnerability. But as it stands, it's really good. This thing needs a nerf. Like maybe it doesn't need like a huge nerf, maybe like minus damage or no random crits. This thing crits all the time for no reason. Well, actually, Pyro does a lot of damage quickly, so that's why. This is the shotgun for people who don't want to use the degreaser. Or if they want to do that thing where you like do the switch and then sneak in a shotgun shot, hit him with the degreaser again. There's that as well. It's easily Pyro's best secondary. And I hate that because I wish it was reverted. I'm so sad. I miss the old panic attack. By the way, strange panic attack names the, I miss the old panic attack. Can we at least get stats and a new weapon, please? I miss it. I like the new panic attack, but it's not as interesting as it once was before. I miss the old mechanic. I want my bazooka back. I want my bazooka shotgun. Come on, Valve, please. But yeah, that should about do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm sorry if I am sounding dead inside. I am in fact dead inside because I am a sophomore with a lot of schoolwork to do, and I haven't been uploading recently because I've been really tired and just kind of burnt out. Check out my Twitch, by the way. Link in the description. Also follow my Twitter. I ran into an interesting thing with Dead by Daylight recently. Without further ado, I wish you the best of luck and stay safe out there.